I love my little fishes as they swim about their home.
Are you hearing
I
anything?
love my
Nope,
little
I can
fishes
hear it.
as they swim about their home. When the
I'll ask
sunlight
in chat and see if they can hear it.
Huh?
and their colors
I'm
begin
gonna ask in chat and see if they can hear it.
Yeah.
drawn into
I'm not
a
hearing anything.
world where my heart longs to go. I imagine scenes of beauty and feel the warmth of love. I love my little fishes as they swim about their home.
Yeah, they can hear it.
I
That's
have
fine.
traveled the world over,
Well, I'm not
never
gonna worry about it.
found the peace that comes from watching my fishies as they swim about their home.
That's funny.
My heart is happy and I am content to sit and watch them swim. I will not be alone while these fishies are in my home. When the sunlight shines upon them and their colors begin to glow, I am drawn into a
It's real
world
weird. I can't hear
where
it.
my heart longs to go.
Yeah, I think I've got
I
lag, so I'm
imagine
gonna try singing.
scenes of
Yeah.
beauty
Well,
and feel the warmth of
sorry.
love. I love my little fishes as they swim
Rob
about
can hear
their
and
home.
see. Normally I'd be singing along.
Oh, I know.
I don't have. I don't have
Normally I would too, but I could tell that I think there's lag.
What's funny is I'm hearing you.
See, I can hear you and the song, so I'm not sure what's going on there.
Something weird.
Hey, the live stream wouldn't be a live stream if we didn't have some kind of gremlin on us.
Really. Well, there we are.
Hey guys,
I lost the sense of the opening. I not heard it. Oh well. Hopefully they'll be settled and planted. We're working on it. It's a daily process. We're going to do a soft opening around the 1st, probably Labor Day, the 2nd, and then shoot for my birthday, which is September 14th, as an official opening. So we'll have about 2 weeks. But we're going to start getting flyers out. Oh my. All right. Let's see. Augustin Bonaveri from Buenos Aires, Argentina. I'm going to make you a moderator. Who was it? Was it yesterday? Or was it? Oh, I know what it was. It was a comment. Somebody said that somebody plugged in from Venezuela. It's the first time I've had anyone come in from Venezuela, and they were claiming that Venezuela is the country of fish. That
Wow.
they have huge tropical fish populations in Venezuela, which I was really not aware of. I know Brazil does, but Brazil's immense. I don't know that Venezuela has ever capitalized on that, and they're not in a position to now. I mean, their government is so corrupt; it's got everybody in a state of starvation.
Wow, I didn't know that. That's horrible.
If that ever ends, well, that's Maduro has taken the strongest economy in South America and turned it into the worst, the weakest, simply by corruption.
Wow.
By stealing everything. his family has billions of dollars in foreign banks. Billions. It's a deeply, deeply corrupt man. And it's destroyed the nation. But it's good to know that, because if they ever were able to overthrow him, and they're trying to overthrow him, they have elected, they have elections, and he consistently stuffs the ballot box. He's enormously unpopular, but you know, it's there were claims that that he was running the machines here in the U.S. in the last
Really, I didn't know that. Wow.
2020, that they were machines that were actually run by Maduro and his gang of thugs.
At this point, the way the world's gotten, nothing would surprise me at this point.
I know. Let's see. Venezuela quarries. Hello, Adam. Nice to have you with us, Augustine. Bonaveri. Andy Swan, Kim Minnie. I've done some videos. I got another one coming up. Probably won't be Wednesday before it'll be posted. But I have some coral fish in the brackish tank. Now, I increased the salinity. I brought it up to the minimum saltwater level of about 0.19, I guess. Minimum is 20. Average is 25. So it's right at the bottom of that. I put 3 pajama cardinals, 2 mandarin gobies, and 2 what are they called? They're real pretty golden red one from the Caribbean. I'll think of it. Anyway, I've lost one of the pajama cardinals, and it was clam fin when I put it in, and I lost one of the mandarins. They both came in looking really starved. The other one's doing well. So of the 3, 4, 5, 6 fish I put in there on Friday, I've lost 2. And the others are looking fine. They're not showing any weakness at all.
That's good.
So I'm hopeful that's going to work out. That'll allow me to do mixed populations. With a lower salinity, I can keep all the brackish and be able to add some salt. It'll be primarily Caribbean. Now, the mandarin is not Caribbean. Pajamas probably are not either. But I will be able to do butterflies in it because they're Caribbean. And there's some other fish like hawkfish I'll be able to include. So we'll see how it all goes. But I'm not going to be a purist about it. Not because it's not interesting, it absolutely is. But I think most hobbyists, when they get a tank like this set up, there are certain things they really want to have in it. One of which is a pair of clowns. Now, I ordered some. They did not come in. So I've got to order them again. And I'm probably going to do a combined order with super cichlids and get a bigger order of clowns in. They're going to be doing salt. They're going through a major change in their shop. They're changing the name and completely changing the character of the shop. It'll be very, very different than it is. So it'll be exciting to see how all that works.
Well.
Sun and Moon say Colombia and Peru have a lot of fish. Yes, they certainly do. Talking about Watley's discus from Peru. Let's see, let me get him a moderator. Got Sun and Moon a moderator, and Jones 6. LED lights are growing. Yeah, I don't do halogen. It's expensive. It's super hot. The power bill is astounding, and the LED lights are every bit as powerful. You can get LED lights now that'll blind you.
Yeah, you can.
Every bit as powerful as a halogen, and the use cost is so much lower. It doesn't make sense not to use it. There's another benefit to it. It's a little understood one. The light beam from the diode, the LED diode, is not refracted. It does not cone out. It's a straight beam, like a laser. Now, they're made usually with a little bit of a convex cone, a can, that they're put in, which reflects light and gives it a bit of a cone. But you can have it 5 feet above your tank, and that light will hit the bottom of your tank. It's that direct a beam. So the LED is far more effective at getting light to the tank than incandescent or fluorescent, for that matter. It's really
and a lot cheaper.
Yeah, and you can get it with a total range of light, and they're cheap. I don't spend more than $25-$30 on light. I just
Yeah, that's why I love them.
And I don't get fancy ones that change colors because they tend to go up. They tend not to be well made.
Mm-hmm.
They tend to have problems after 6 months or so, and they're expensive. It's not worth fooling with them. You can get, if you really want red, you can get a red light, or blue. You can get a blue light, one that's just all red, and then mix and match them. There's nothing wrong with that. Well, the white light is full spectrum, Jeremy. So it's kind of not an issue. If you want more intense spectrum, then buy a light that's got that spectrum. That's like a red light or a blue light, or even a green light or a yellow light. You can buy the spectrum for less than it costs to get one that'll, for as long as it works, that'll change from one to the other. Dean is saying I just got a great deal on lights. 12 4-foot LED 65K 6500K 4500 limits, $50. Oh, I know. 12 4-footers. That is a good deal.
Yeah, it is.
I get the 4-footers all the time. The best deal I've seen is 8 for about $50. And they're 65s. I mean, that's a good price. I have used a lot of them. I use them on 4-foot tanks primarily. Now, what I'm doing now is I'm using these things, which are LED floodlights.
Yeah. I like those.
They're about $25-$30 a piece, 100 watt. I've got 3 of them on here. I had 4, it was too much. So I now have 3, and it's working pretty well. The plants certainly like it, and in some cases, it's really too much light. I'm getting some algae buildup. Not a lot, but some. I finally found a piece of glass that fits all the way across. So now I'm not getting the evaporation there was before. I don't like evaporation. See, I've been working on getting some of these lumps of algae out of here.
Yeah. Is that mad algae?
I think it probably is.
Yeah, I thought it was.
A lot of it on the bottom, and it'll catch air and float, and then I pull it out. I've got some neat fish in there, though. I've got some
Yeah,
goby.
you do.
That's a male killie. There's a crevensis, a male crevensis. These are sulfur chromides. There's a goby. That's a female. I just saw a male. I'm hoping they're going to spawn. I put some new ones in. I've had gobies in here for, golly, 5 years probably. There's one right there. That's, that I think it's a female. These chromides are sweet though. They're starting to color up. They're getting black. There's a lot of scintillas. These are, I've got a guy in Florida that's he's collecting some more continental, so there's a rainbow.
Yeah, those are pretty.
Yeah, they're rainbows. They're not coloring up the way I'd like them to. I don't know why. Maybe they're just not in season. That's a Tanganyika. I did get a couple more little ones. That's the 5-bar Tanganyika, and I've got 2 more to put in here. I got them at the shop.
I love the way you've got that tank set up, and I love that fish right there, the one with the orange fins.
Yeah, I think pretty. Epistogramma. It's a male epistogramma. I do have some females. I don't think there's one in here. I need to dig out some females from the other tank. Get them in here. There's goby in the back. There are 5 or 6 gobies in here, and I got more at the shop. I'm gonna probably bring some over and put more in. I keep hoping these cribbies are going to spawn. There's the female.
Oh, she's pretty.
They are. The crevensis and the rams, the females have red bellies. I just ordered, oh, this is kind of funny. I just ordered German blue rams from my wholesaler. Now it's all excited to get them because I want to pair them up. I bought 6. I figured I'd get 2 or 3 pair of them. Put them in the tank, looked, every one of them is female. All 6 are female. And I knew instantly that the person who caught them did not know how to sex them. Not only that, they did not know how to catch them. German blue rams are peculiar. They do something I've never seen other fish do. When you get a lot of them, like 50 of them or 100, and you put them in a tank like a 20 or 30 or a 40-gallon tank. So you got a big school of them in a tank, all by themselves, nothing else in it, no substrate, no cover, nothing. They will immediately, the females will come to the middle and the front. The males will all go to the back. And they'll be within 2 inches of the back. The males will. The females will fill up the rest of the tank coming forward. So when somebody who doesn't know that goes in the tank with a net to dip them out, they always get females. They never get males because they're not catching them from the back of the tank. They're catching them from the middle or the front of the tank. And that's what happened. So it was my great joy to call up one of the top fish keepers in the country and explained to him that he doesn't know how to catch male rams out of his tank.
I love the way you explained it to him. That was awesome.
So that was fun.
Yeah.
I learned that. That's the kind of thing you learn by doing. You learn by observation. You know, I was buying from Seagrass, had for years. I bought from Seagrass for years and years and years. And I would go into their farm weekly for years. I would go through thousands of bettas and pick out the ones I wanted. I'd spend half a day going through bettas and pulling them out. This was back in around 2000, before 9/11, before everything went to hell.
Right.
When bettas, all betta, there were no grades. They were all the same. They were all $1, I think $1.25, $1.49 for male, something like that. And it was right at the beginning where the breeders were beginning to get new colors and new fin variations. So I would come up with this stuff. I got one, it was a koi betta. A koi, I think it was a crown tail. The crown tail was the first one. That was the first one that was hybridized out of the old fantail betta. It had 3 colors, blue, red, and white. Red, white, and blue. I got it. I'd never seen one before. Took it out. Took it into. I used to stop in and say hello to the manager of Seagrass, Sandy Moore. She'd been there for years and years. And we would sit and chat, and I took it into her, and I said, look what I found. And we sat there ogling that fish. I took it home. I was on Aquabid at the time. I was selling bettas on Aquabid. So I put it up with some kind of fancy name. I think I called it American Beauty. The first betta koi. 2 women got into a bidding war over it. It went for $249.
Ooh.
The final bid was $249. I was going to keep it and breed it.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't do that. I mailed it off the very day the auction closed. Got it out of there to make sure I didn't lose that money.
Mm-hmm.
I paid $1.25 for it.
Wow.
Yeah, those days are gone forever.
Yeah.
Now, a fish like that today would wholesale at probably $25 and would retail for $50 to $75.
Yeah. Bettas have really went up in price.
Well, I was kind of at the vanguard of that,
Mm-hmm.
of calling them and selling them by color and fin formation.
That's pretty cool.
And I was selling. None of them sold for less than $15, and a lot of them were $25 to $50, because I was coming up with really unusual stuff. So I kind of set the market. That was like 2000, 2001, along in there. And now it's like $10 to $15 wholesale to get some of the nicer bettas, which means I've got to sell it for, $30, $40.
Oh yeah, and in most of the shops anymore, that's what you see them selling for.
Yeah, I got a couple of really nice ones. Right now, I'll have to get some pictures of them. I think I'll go through and do some videos of the tanks. I can sell bettas, I can market bettas, and I can market shrimp. I don't know what else I can do right now. That'll be easy to ship. Snails we're already doing, but I'm gonna have to do overnight shipping. So it's gonna be $50, and I've been splitting that with people. If I do a $50 minimum, and it's going to California, and I put up $25, it's nearly $60 to ship it. So I lose $35 on the $15 on a $50 shipment. My cost is 15 or better, so I wind up losing money on that sale. I get enough sales to offset that a little bit. So I don't know. I don't want to charge $50 for shipping. I think it'll frankly kill the business. I don't mind the 25, but I gotta be able to make it up somewhere. So, and I don't want to do a $100 minimum fish bid, but I may have to, or 75 or something. I'd rather do 50.
Mm-hmm.
So we'll see. Your
price
thoughts on
is
that? I appreciate your thoughts on it.
Yeah, you may have to set a cap. They have to order X amount of fish to be able to ship.
Well, I'm going to have a $50 minimum
Yeah.
for fish. But even at that, if it's going to California, I can't afford to ship it. I actually shipped last Thursday, this past Thursday. I shipped an order of plants to a woman in California. It was overnight, which they guaranteed 2 days. That means it would have gotten there Saturday. They did not deliver it Saturday, and they do not deliver on Sunday. So it'll get there on Monday. Thursday to Monday, $55 I paid for 4-day delivery. And the post office won't make it good.
That's insane.
I know.
And Tony Bayou Mama, she actually has something for you. Some sites get $90 to $100 purchase limit for overnight, plus still pay some shipping to get the some of the plants overnight or some of the fish overnight. So maybe set a $90 to $100 limit.
Yeah, I'm probably going to have to do that. I don't know.
Probably.
There are some other people I can talk to. I need to talk to Pepperland Creek and see what they do, because they're shipping overnight.
And Tony Bayou Mama has another question. Has a question for you. What plants would you recommend in a bog filter for a 4 to 5 inch deep pocket in a waterfall? It's for a pond. She showed me earlier that it's gonna look amazing.
Yeah, I saw some pictures of it. I think what you ought to do, I've got a few here I can send you. I think I ought to do bog plants in it. I normally do not carry them this time of year. We're kind of at the tail end of it. But I can get you some. That would be like bluebell, some of the lilies, the plants that grow up and out of the water, papyrus. That would be the best thing to do in that kind of a configuration. It'll be a lot showier. It'll work really effectively. and they'll grow wonderfully well. I
The
do have
pirates
some.
don't
I
really anything.
sent you what I got. I've got 3 or 4 right now that are doing pretty well. Free
You know,
shipping every 5 orders. Free shipping every. I've got a lot of people to do who had multiple orders. I got a bunch of people who the re-up rate, the return rate on orders is about 50%. So about 50% of the people who are buying every week are return customers. And I've made a real serious effort to make sure everybody is absolutely satisfied with what they get. If the plants come in and they're in rough shape, I'll replace them. All I ask is if it's delayed by the post office, that you help me with the shipping, which is only $10, or pay the $25 for overnight if it's a big order. Recently bought 2 female dwarf crummies. I'd love to get them. Paid $30 for overnight delivery, and that probably was cost. $30 would be, for me, it would be like east of the Mississippi to Florida, or north to Maine, the eastern half of the country. Beyond that, it's $50 to $60. Texas and California are like $55. Dean, uh, Dean walked away from the tank as it was filling, is what that story is. And he's blaming it on the dog.
hopefully it's not my Dean. What's he doing to my fish tank if it is?
That's funny. Yank the hose out of its holder. You're the holder. Dean, you mean it jerked it out of your hand? Is that what you mean? Somehow I don't think so.
Adam said the dog is hiring a lawyer.
Yeah, really. Dog needs a lawyer. I just don't kick the dog. Don't kick the dog. It's not the dog's fault.
Right?
Not the dog's fault. Although he probably understood what he did. And he probably did it deliberately. Dogs are not dumb animals.
Right.
They understand language after all.
Yeah, they do.
They do. And if they could talk, they would.
Oh, that would be funny.
And they do try.
Oh, mine definitely does. He honestly, it kind of shocked me. He went, no. We was barking. I asked him, do you want me to go outside? He went, no. And then he runs over there and he's pointing to his food bowl. He wasn't wanting the dry food. He's wanting me to feed him the wet food.
Cats will do that too.
Oh yeah, that'd be funny. My mom's cat, it would almost sound like it was Mama, because she'd be hunting for my mom, and it'd be like, I'm like, okay, I know the cat's not saying Mama. What on earth?
Probably is.
Yeah, they got a pretty good grasp of language.
Well, they're an animal that depends on sensory input, and they're living with people who are using language.
Mm-hmm.
They can't use it particularly well, but they sure learn to understand it.
Oh, they do.
And in addition to that, they're intuitive enough that they can kind of put those skills together and figure things out. The critical thing, I think, with dogs is that is they be in a comfortable environment where they can trust they're not going to get abused.
Yeah,
Because
absolutely.
dogs are easy to abuse,
Yeah, they are.
and they don't handle it well.
Mm-mm, they don't.
What else is going on here? Oh, that's interesting. Well, Adam ordered plants overnight, um, and he got them next day, and the ice pack was still cold.
That's nice.
The ice pack weighs about, yeah, it lasts about 2 days. We're doing half-inch thick styrofoam with bubble wrap, and it's good for 2 days. We would need to do something substantially more to be able to get it to like 3 or 4 days. We'd have to use inch thick styrofoam.
Hmm.
Um, and that would be substantially more expensive. It would be double the packaging cost to do that. We could do it, but I don't think it's economically viable.
Yeah, it doesn't sound like it
Plus,
is.
it would substantially reduce the volume, the available volume in the package.
Hmm.
I don't know. We start doing fish, we may need to think about it. I mean, I get pharmaceuticals, I get insulin shipped in. And it always comes in these 2-inch thick styrofoam boxes that cost
Wow.
$25. I mean, I saved the boxes. We
I
do
don't
have
blame you.
some. We do have some of those boxes. We could use them for, like special deals. Maybe that's what I ought to do is talk to the girls about these special boxes and then talk to some pharmacies and see if I can get boxes from them.
Yeah. And something else that might help for shipping the fish is the breather bags. It's these bags they're making that's breathable.
Yeah, I
That
don't
might,
believe that. I know they work. I just don't like it. I
yeah.
use oxygen.
Oh, well, there you go.
The reason I don't like them is because that bag is in a sealed container.
Hmm.
And if it's full of other bags and other things, there's no available air in there. So
Yeah.
it may breathe, but it's not breathing anything, out of the container. It's not like you're filling the container up with air and putting one bag in it.
Yeah.
Whereas I can fill a bag 1/3 with water and 2/3 with oxygen, and a fish that's an inch long to 2 inches long in a bag that has a cup of water and 2 cups of air will leave in that bag for a month. There'll be enough
That's awesome.
oxygen in there for it to survive a month. So it's not going to run out of oxygen within a week of it being shipped. The problem is temperature.
Yeah.
Um, and in the dead of winter and the height of summer, it's just too hard to control that temperature. Now, heat does better than cold. You can
Hmm.
control heat better than you can control cold. And I think it's because the heat packs heat to a higher degree and they hold the temperature better. They hold heat better than ice does. Ice just melts. These heat
Hmm.
packs are actually a chemical process. So it's a more active kind of heat. It's not passive heat the way ice is. But we will struggle with it.
Yeah, stripping during the winter and the summer. That's going to be interesting.
Erie's saying my cories are constantly stirring up the bottom. The solution for that, Erie, is to add another half inch to an inch of sand. The cories don't dig. They don't go down. They may go down a quarter of an inch. Maybe even 3/8 of an inch. They don't go a half an inch into the sand. So what they're stirring up is material that is right at the surface. So if you add some sand to that, you're not going to have that material right at the surface, and they won't be able to stir it up.
Yeah, I haven't had a problem with mine stirring it up.
Well, that's funny. Shelley Klein says, my dogs used to look all over the house for Father Chris's birds. They're so used to your shows that they don't even pick up their heads anymore when the show starts. Yeah, they're getting real quiet. Ain't nobody talking tonight. I don't know why that music didn't play. That's odd. Because everything else is playing.
And see, on our end, it played good.
Didn't pull the plug on the speaker because the speaker's working. You know what? I think I pulled the plug on that monitor. Let me try something. I'll bet you if I bring up here, bring up your song.
Okay.
It'll come up on a different monitor, and I bet it plays. I bet I disconnected the sound from that monitor. I was pulling wires around to try to get it moved, and I think that's what I did. I did unplug it at one point, plugged it back in. I guarantee you that's what it is. I can hear it. That's what it is.
So you can hear
Go
it?
ahead and play it. Yeah. Go ahead and play it.
Deep in the water where the fish roam free, we're building a food web, a tiny world to see. Leaf litter from nature, providing a home. From microflora and microfauna, no longer alone. We collect the leaves, the water and the creatures in ponds, rivers and streams. Our ecosystem features, creating a balance in this underwater land. With every piece connected, our food web will expand. Creating a balance in this underwater land. With every piece connected, our food web will expand. Building the food web in our aquarium today, feeding our ecosystem in the most natural way. Leaf litter provides the perfect home for all, a thriving underwater world standing proud and tall. Microscopic life hiding and thriving beneath the surface of the water, a delicate motif. As we watch them flourish in a tiny space, we see the importance of maintaining a place. We care for our aquarium with love and dedication, knowing that every element plays a vital relation. From the smallest to the largest, every creature has a role. Together they create our monotonous home. Building the food web in our aquarium today, feeding our ecosystem in the most natural way. Leaf litter provides the perfect home for all, a thriving underwater world standing proud and tall. Aquarium today, feeding our ecosystem in the most natural way. Leaf litter provides the perfect home for all, a thriving underwater world standing proud and tall. Building a food web in our aquarium today, feeding our ecosystem in the most natural way. Leaf litter provides the perfect home for all, a thriving
Nice.
Yeah.
Thank you. That's such a pretty song.
Yeah, it is. I've got a bunch more. I've just got to get them put together.
Oh, that's fun. That's AI. Was that taken
Yeah,
from
that's
your
AI.
voice? Where did the
Actually,
voice
believe
come
it or not, it's not, which is kind of funny because when I sing along with it, not so much with the earphones, but just out loud, it sounds similar. But it's actually an AI app called Donna. And I just told it I wanted a female voice for a Southern rock song about, and then I wrote everything out. Half the lyrics I wrote, I'm like, include these in the chorus. And then I told it just put in there whatever sounds good about fat natural fish keeping. And it just
from?
wrote the song, the beat, the lyric, most of
That's
the
fun.
beat, a lot of the lyrics, and no idea whose voice it is. I'm thinking it's really just an AI generated voice.
I guess it really sounds like your voice.
It does sound like my voice because it was really funny. My aunt thought I was singing it because she's heard me
Really
sing before. And I'm like, nope, wasn't me.
funny.
Yeah, it
Yeah.
really is.
So you got a bunch of new ones,
Oh, I've got a bunch of new ones. I've just got to finish piecing all the footage together to actually add the music to it. I'm actually at this point, I've got so many made, I'm debating on just uploading them the way Donna presents them instead of making them custom.
huh?
'Cause I really want a fish tank. I want to make a playlist that's a fish tank maintenance playlist or a fish tank aquascaping playlist. But when you're working on your tanks, you're doing an aquascape, you can just listen to some relaxing music.
That's fun.
Yeah,
I need to start writing some more poetry.
yeah, you do.
Uh,
Because you can take that poetry, throw it into the AI app, especially Donna, and it'll go crazy with it.
well, that's where the little fishies came from.
Hmm.
That was AI
Yeah.
generated. I don't know how much. I didn't do it, and the fellow who did it is not around anymore. So I don't know how much of it was done, how much of it he directed. But it's
Yeah.
a beautiful piece.
Yeah, and see, with Donna, you don't really get to direct the footage of the video. It just basically gives you a generic picture that's AI generated of whatever the subject the song is about, and then it'll give you the lyrics. So beyond that, it doesn't really give you any kind of visual footage. And that's the reason I haven't uploaded them because I wanted to
Well, there
get
was
really
quite a
good
lot, though.
footage.
Yeah, there was quite a lot there. You can probably do that. I don't know. Now we
Well,
have
but
something else going on right now. We're negotiating with an AI team in India to put together a fatherfish AI Google
that's going to be amazing.
that it'll be a search engine where you'll be able to ask questions. We're in process of transcribing all of our videos. There are nearly 2,000 videos. We're doing them from the front back. They started doing them from the oldest forward, and I said, no, don't do the opposite. Start with the newest ones and work our way back. Um, and they've been working on it. It's an amazing piece of work they're doing.
Yeah, I
That's
can't wait till it's finished. That's going to
yeah,
be amazing piece of work.
yeah. Naresh, where is I'm trying to find? I want to find the. It's called the AI project. FSH and Naresh are doing FSH is doing virtually all of the transcribing. He's on Discord. I guess it's a guy. I don't know. Might be a woman. I don't know who it is. They've been amazingly disciplined. I don't know how many they've done. Probably 50. They've transcribed that many videos into text, and the text will go into this AI machine as text with the fatherfish voice and the fatherfish vision or image. So you'll actually get Father Fish answering questions based on what he has said, what's been documented.
That's
So we'll
pretty
see
cool.
all this. It'll be interesting.
Yeah,
We'll
well.
see how this works out. It's all part of the process
Hmm.
of of finding ways to make it possible for all of you guys to continue hanging together when I'm gone, to be able to carry on and have something to be able to carry on. That's at the top of my agenda all the time, is looking at ways to reinforce and establish what we're doing, so it has some persistence about it. So there's still income flow to be able to pay people. We've got 9 people on staff right now. There are 9 people who have income that they're deriving from this whole Father Fish establishment. We're at 207 and nearly 270,000 subscribers on YouTube, with upwards of 30,000 subscribers on Discord. Of course, they're not all active all at once, but we have. I estimate there are 5 to 10,000 active subscribers on YouTube, and 1 to 2,000 active participants at any point in time on Discord. And we're looking at other platforms, trying to find platforms where we actually can have a meaningful kind of impact. We've been on Rumble for a long time, and it's sort of worthless.
Yeah.
Trying to figure out how to get on X. What we need is somebody responsible for maintaining that site, getting the shorts up routinely, cutting videos, and so forth. The other thing we're planning to do is open a second channel, a second YouTube channel, and I think it's going to be a Discord channel. In other words, the people on Discord will be in charge of it. They'll actually cut the videos for it and determine the direction of it. I've also considered doing another kind of channel, which would be a more open-ended kind of channel. I'm finally settling in on a theme which will be not political, but um, environmental in the loosest sense. That is, it would speak to exactly what we're all about here, the relationship of human beings to the nature system, and what that proper role is, what the role of government is and all that, what the role of people is and all that. And I clearly have got some ideas that are not consistent with a lot of the government intrusion that goes on today.
Mm-hmm.
And I'll put it as simply as this. When I was a child, my greatest joy, my absolute greatest single joy, was going into a creek and flipping over the rocks and looking at what was there.
Mm-hmm.
In the state of Maryland today, it is a felony for a child to go into a creek and turn over a rock. A felony. Parents can go to jail for letting their children do that. That
Absolutely.
is an obscenity.
Yes, it is.
Legal obscenity. It is tyranny carried to its utmost extension. It is the domination of government over the relationship between human beings and their God. And by that, I'm not saying that nature is God, but nature is God's creation.
Mm-hmm.
And that creation is created for human beings. If there is any meaning at all to freedom, it is to be free in nature.
That's it.
To be free to have and hold natural beings. Here's a case in point. And I got to go back to Maryland. The banded sunfish, it's a pygmy fish, gets about 1.5 inches long, maybe 2 inches tops. Silver with black banding, vertical banding. It is only found in a few ponds on the eastern shore of Maryland. It is a protected species, which means you cannot take it. In fact, you cannot take a crayfish out of a creek in Maryland.
That's
In
insane.
order to overcome this, state fisheries has turned over to the National Aquarium in Baltimore responsibility for developing a system to multiply these fish in captivity for future release into the wild. It is a completely meaningless act. There are already at least 100 highly skilled fish keepers in the state of Maryland and nearby areas who have been breeding these fish for decades and have thousands, if not tens of thousands of them already in captivity, who would be thrilled to be able to release them into a wild population. The fact that government does not acknowledge the role of citizens in caring for and sustaining the natural environment is absolute proof of government tyranny.
Yeah, it is.
Absolute proof. And it must be ended. That tyranny must be ended if we're going to save the planet. The great danger to the planet is not chemical factories. It is government intrusion into the rights of the individual to function in a natural environment. I could go on forever about this, and you've heard much of it already. When I was in Florida, it was so obvious that every single invasive species in Florida was put there by state fisheries. Put
Right.
them deliberately by state fisheries. No such thing as a hobbyist turning a couple of fish loose, creating a scourge. Never happens. It is impossible for that to happen. Statistically, it cannot happen. In order for an invasive species to move into an environment, it's never one or two critters. It is vast populations of them moving in. And the only way that can happen is with direct government pressure to make it happen. And that's what fisheries does. They do it everywhere. They brought in the cane toad, for God's sake.
Right?
Cane toad, the absolute scourge of Australia, brought it in to control God knows what. Beetles. And it has killed more animals, more livestock, and devastated more property than those beetles ever could. And it ain't just one little mistake. it happens again and again and again and again because they think they're smarter than the average bear. And the
Yeah.
reality is they're dumb. They're
Right.
dumb. They really are. They operate with their own little set of principles. And I know a lot of these guys. They're personal friends of mine. And they're operating based on bureaucratic legalese
Mm-hmm.
and not on a primary commitment to the environment. It's the primary commitment to their authority, to their facilities, to their influence, and not to the environment. I could go on.
Yeah, somebody needs to say it because it's getting insane the way that they're overreaching.
Well, I don't think anybody's really pulling all this together. There are a couple of channels and a couple of agencies that are working on it, but I don't think anybody's really trying to coordinate that material and put it together in a way that's really communicating effectively. And the difficulty is having influence on government to change that. And that's the grave difficulty because tyranny is never overcome by popular will. It never is. The tyrants never say, "Oh, I'm sorry, I made a mistake." They never do that. The tyrant will always double down and will use whatever authority they can to persist in their wrongdoing. We need a better way.
Yeah, we do.
We really do need a better way. We need to control government.
Right?
Rather,
Wouldn't that be nice?
rather than be controlled by government.
Yeah.
And that's really the critical issue of our time. It really is. If we're to remain a nation of free people, we have to be in control of the government and not the government in control of us.
Mm-hmm.
And here's the kicker. The only way that can happen is if the people are of a godly nature. If the people are corrupt, the government is going to just run roughshod over them.
Mm-hmm.
It is the corruption of the people, ultimately, that allows for tyranny.
Yeah, it is.
So we need to clean up our act as citizens if we're going to have clean and decent and responsible government. It ain't them and us, it's us. So I just wanted to bring that back full circle.
Hey, Bayou Mama says that she's on X, so maybe she can help with X a little bit.
Do what?
Tony Bayou Mama, she said in the comments earlier that she's on X at the what used to be Twitter. Maybe she can help over there.
That's a good idea. I will. She's in Discord. I will talk to her about that. That's a really good idea. It's simply we do have a channel. I don't know anything about how to use it, but if she's on it and understands that, perhaps she can get that channel built.
Yeah, that would be great because I downloaded X and I'm trying to figure it out, and it's a slow process with the X for me.
Well, Erie, the Erie is from the UK, and they are really up against it.
Really
up against it, to the point where the government has turned very strongly against its citizens in a very direct and
Wow.
visible and manifest way, which is what's causing the absolute revolution that's going on there right now. And
Well,
it's
I haven't heard about that.
becoming a violent revolution.
Wow, what else is going on? Because I haven't heard anything about this.
Well, it's got a lot to do with the government bringing increasing numbers of illegal migrants into the country, and allowing for the Islamification of much of London and much of the smaller of the larger cities, I should say. The mayor of London is a Muslim, and he's a no holds barred Muslim.
Hmm.
He's not a man of he's not a man of the people. He's a man of his faith, and he is Islamifying the city,
Wow.
and it's causing the people of London, the traditional people of London, to become increasingly oppressed and increasingly rebellious. This whole notion that diversity is somehow a benefit to something. The only benefit it is to increasing the chaos in society to allow government to increase its authority. Government loves it because it reduces the authority of the people, creates chaos among the people, reduces the centrality of a common people, a people of one mind, breaks that down utterly. That's historically, traditionally, that's what nations have been. They've been cultural and ethnic enclaves. That's what a nation was. We're in the unique position of having created an enclave of an American people. But that's breaking down as so many people are glutting into the country who are not here to become Americans. They are here to get what they can, and they're getting it. And there's no sense in which they are participating in the great American experiment. In point of fact, they're here as criminals because they have broken the very laws that are foundational to how you even get into this country as someone from another country. They've violated the primary law. They are criminals ipso facto by virtue of being here. They are criminals, and many of them are multiple criminals. Many, not all certainly, but many. I mean, just look at it. 90% of them are young men between 18 and 35. 90% of the people coming across the border are 18 to 35. If that were happening in any other age, it would be considered a military incursion. And it is. It's only it's worse than that because it's all tied up with gangs and with criminal acts, with the importation of drugs, with sex slavery, with all kinds of evil and corruption that's flowing right along with it. It's all coming in. 50,000 children died last year from fentanyl, a drug manufactured in China, shipped to Mexico to be brought into the United States for the purpose of killing children.
That's insane.
That's
And
what
nobody's holding
it's,
China
it's,
responsible at all.
it's chemical warfare.
Yeah, that's what it sounds like.
It is. That's precisely why China is manufacturing it. It's not loose in China. Fentanyl's not all over China. It's a weapon, and it's being used as a weapon. It's being brought in by criminal organizations into the country and distributed. 50,000 children in 1 year dead from fentanyl, and that number is going up.
Wow. I see, that's what the news stations should be reporting on.
That's right. That's
That's
exactly
what
right.
they should be reporting on, because
That's
that's the
exactly
first
right.
I've heard of it.
That's what Kennedy was saying yesterday, over the weekend. He made it very clear. The media has completely failed in its fundamental responsibility. Its fundamental responsibility is to call out people in power.
Mm-hmm.
And instead, they're doing the precise opposite. They're carrying water for the corruption of those in power. They have become the problem. They could have prevented this from happening. They didn't. They did not. They didn't cause it, but they didn't stop it either.
Yeah, that's insanity. I swear it's like we're living in a clown world sometimes. Oh wow. Dean Stevenson said that his son passed away from fentanyl last year. I'm so sorry to hear that, Dean. That's horrible. And Tony's right. Bayou Mama, she says good is bad and bad is good. That's any more what the world's become. It's
Yeah.
like it's flipped on its head.
Right. Mercy, mercy, mercy. We need to get back on fish.
Yeah, probably.
Really. It's too depressing talking about all this crap. And the thing here, that's the joy. That's the joy of what we're doing with fish. Because we can be talking about it without talking about it.
Right.
You know? The shop is it's forcing me to go in directions that I have not gone in up to this point. I'm really those who claim that my system is based on being lazy are absolutely right. It's absolutely true. And it has resulted in tanks that are that I have no reason to be particularly proud of.
I
Tanks
think they
you
look
hardly
good.
can see into.
But
Now,
they're healthy.
they are. They're fish that have been in there for years.
I like what House of Pisces just commented. FF for president.
But I don't want to do that. My God. I just want to blow off steam. I'm at that age. Now, here's what I was saying though. The shop is forcing me to do some things I haven't had to do.
Hmm.
It's forcing me to make the tanks attractive and not just attractive, but aesthetic. So I'm going to have to deal with the issue of carpeting because carpeting is the fundamental principle of an aquascape tank. It's not a requirement, but it's awfully difficult to convince anyone you have a nicely aquascape tank without carpeting. So I'm working on it. I am buying this week. I found a farm that's selling 12-inch square mats of Cuba, baby tears, hair grass, and something else. I don't remember what. One of the other carpeting plants, I think. So I'm going to get them all and start working with them. I will sell them. They are not going to be cheap. 12 by 12 mat is going to run close to $75. I mean, they're expensive. But that's a lot. That's a lot of material.
Yeah, it is.
It really is a lot of material. So I'll be getting those in this week. And we'll start building out some tanks with mats. I'll cut some of the big tanks. I'm going to try setting the whole mat in place. It's not a simple thing to do because you got to get sand and dirt on top of it to get down into it to really get it established. It's pretty tricky to work with, but we'll see if we can do it. Better Great Lakes should have put all my blackbirds in the tank. Really what I plan to feed. Only what you plan to feed. If you put them all in, they're going to disappear. Somebody asked earlier about putting macrofauna in your tank, scuds or Daphne. I think it was Daphne they were talking about. You can use it as food, but until you build about a 1-inch thick food web of leaf mulch and get it built up, they're not going to be able to escape predation. And that's really the key to being able to make a food web work. It has to be deep enough and substantial enough that little animals, little fish, and so forth can escape into it and be able to establish populations without being just scarfed on. So consider that. It's not having a little bit of leaves. It's having a bed of material on top of the sand, working down into the sand that is deep enough and expansive enough that animals can move around in it without being discovered by the fish above it. I don't know how many of you remember EJ. EJ, I haven't talked to her in a year or more than a year. She just kind of dropped out. But she had discovered basically intuitively how to do this. She was doing it out of her own head. It had just kind of come full bore to her that she needed to have tanks with culture in them, with scuds and shrimp and green water. That green water was the food for all of those things. She had to build up food web in her tanks for the fish and for these animals, and she did it. And she had fish. She had scarlet batis spawning in a community tank with babies, living
Wow.
in that mulch, in that food web. It was absolutely amazing. Completely blew my mind. She did this from scratch in about 3 months. An absolute savant. I mean, it just
Wow.
came to her. It came to her whole cloth. It was like bang, and it was there. She did it from nothing in 3 months. Built what amounted to a lifetime experience. She probably on to saving the world from hunger by now.
Right?
Amazing woman.
I just got a tag saying, Dina, please check Discord messages. Okay, I can do that.
Let me get some tea while you're doing that. I'll be right back.
Um,
Oh,
oh, it's Greater K. Thank you. Yeah. I can send this to Father Fish. Yeah. Okay, let's see what we got in the chats while Father Fish is getting him a drink. Let's see here. Okay, what are you guys arguing about in chat? Father Fish walks away and you guys start arguing in chat. What's going on, guys? I'm trying to figure out what they're arguing about. I'm not 100% sure yet. I can't tell what timestamp it starts at.
well, you know, we got a couple of guys from England here who are
Yeah.
up against it. I mean, they absolutely are up against it in ways that we don't begin to understand. You know, we had this notion that England is somehow our forebearer, and that somehow they are more honorable and more dignified and all of this happy stuff, and they're not. They're more tyrannical than we are, and that's saying a lot because there's a lot of tyranny going on in our country, but it is worse in the UK, particularly in Great Britain.
You guys over in the UK, try to stay safe. That's horrible. I hate that for you guys.
They don't have nearly the representation that we do. Erie is Irish. England and Ireland are very generous, kind people, but their kindness has been taken advantage of. I dare say. I dare say. Can we talk fish? We are talking fish, Mike and Co. We are talking fish. You can't separate the world from the fish. You know, as much as we may want to, learning how to care for fish is a matter of learning how to live in the world. And I give you that tank I'm building, the Chesapeake Bay tank. There are a myriad of laws and policies and regulations that affect what I'm doing in that tank. And I'm trying to get the government to give me some sense of direction about what they're going to allow me to do without shutting me down.
Yeah.
And they don't
And
want
you,
to do it because what they want to do is shut me down.
Yeah, it's insane the way they're trying to just regulate everything. Because it's like I'm wanting to try to sell some of my guppies. They're saying I got to have a license to sell my hobbyist guppies, and I'm like, really, no. It's insane.
Yeah, Cornwall says we're at a crossroads where we're not allowed to voice our concerns. And that's exactly it. That's exactly it. When voicing your concerns is considered disinformation, then we have become a communist tyranny. We have become a criminal state in which the people are slaves.
See, that's pretty bad. Things are getting wild.
Stephen Clark. Thank you, Stephen. From a physiological standpoint, would you agree that a tetrad would die soon after if kept alone without other tetras in the tank?
Is everybody seeing this? Is Father Fish Bros on your screens too? Not sure if it's just my connection, because you can ask Tony earlier. I was having a horrible connection and kept cutting out and cutting in when we was on Discord. Okay, thank you, Tony. Hey, he should be back soon, you guys. I wish I knew the answer to this on the Tetra, but still kind of new to keeping Tetras. I'm surprised it's not on my end. And yes, Guppy Yen, it is. It really is madness. And I don't know. I'm just gonna have to look into the laws more, research the laws, because I want to do it the right way. I don't want to get in trouble, but it's insane. You want to sell a few fish, and unless you sell them to your local fish store, I just want to sell them on eBay. But I'm gonna try my local fish store again. Let's see what we got in the comments. Tony says she has unusual luck with Tetris. Hey, that's good. Let's see here. Yes, Spinster sister, Father Fish is frozen and should be back soon. And yeah, Tony, that's what the fish store probably will want, is one of them for free, probably. Yeah, I don't think the police shut us down. We haven't done anything illegal that I know of, other than venting about policies. Black Helmet's got me tickled. He's like, FBI, open up. I don't think they care what fish tubers think. We're just fish nerds. Let's see what else we got. And Jock says that he has a lot of loss from local fish stores. Sorry to hear that. Harry, you always get me tickled, man. Yes, Adam. Fish nerds unite. I like that. That's what we all need to do, is unite. How about donating? Don't know what you mean there, Jeremy. Sorry. Let's see. Good night, Harry. I like that. Straight out of Cornwall. One fish, one family. And yeah, House of Pisces, it's possible that the plug did fall out. He rewired a lot of his stuff, and he's like me with it. It's just gonna get glitchy after that. Spencer's sister asks, "What state do you live in?" Florida, and it's got some really unusual laws. So, and they keep changing constantly. It's like there's a friend of mine in another state. Y'all seen him on here, NC. I was going to do a live with him, but then I'm researching the laws and I may not even be able to do a live with him because of Florida state law, which I understand why they put that law in place, because a lot of people want to just exploit people his age, but he just wanted to do a live and talk about guppies. So I don't see where that would be any harm, but looks like I'm not going to be able to because of Florida law. I'm still researching it, trying to figure it out, but researching Florida law is like pulling teeth. Actually, pulling teeth's easier. Let's see. What do we got in the chat? House of Pisces, any breeding projects? Not on fish yet. I'm getting close to it, but I am doing a breeding project with ramshorn snails because I want some of the bright pink ones. And I can't find them in my area. Oh, I could try to show you the turtle. Let's see. Is it going through? It's going through this camera. Let's see if I can show you a turtle. It's kind of dark. Let me see if I can turn this on. I need to add a little bit more water. We might see a turtle. Or are they hiding? There's a turtle. That part is, this webcam is not that good. I've got to get a different one. If any of you guys know a really good webcam, please send it to me on Discord and I'll see what I can do. I've been researching them and I just want one that'll really work that has a long cord, because this one's my husband's. It has a little bit longer cord, but that's blurry, isn't it? On my screen, it's blurry. I'm not sure if it's because of buffering. Is that blurry to you guys? Because right there is the little nugget, but I don't know if you can see him. Probably not. Let's get it back over here. See if I can get this back. There we go. Yeah, that's what I'm thinking, is it's not very sharp. Oh, let's see if I can get this adjusted back. That'll work. Where's Squirtle? Squirtle's in there somewhere. Yep, the one that you saw was probably the female war turtle. And yeah, I had to name them after Pokemon. I was talking to one of my friends and my husband. My friend Caitlin's like, oh, Squirtle and World Turtle, you got to do it. And actually, Bayou Mama, I have not tried that. I have not tried using my cell phone. That might work. If there's a way I could mount it with my tripod, that would have a way better picture. And yeah, sorry about that, Great Lakes. Yeah, it is kind of blurry. The webcam I'm using is just meant for like conference meetings. It's not really meant for like taking really good quality photos. But I may next time, well, I might try it out Wednesday and see if I can get this halfway right. Is it gonna work? Probably not. Let's get it back over here. Yeah, it took me like 30 minutes to get this thing where it's actually adjusted. So now I've got to fight with it a little bit. And that'll work good enough for right now. But yeah, the turtles have been a lot of fun. It really surprised me how much personality those little guys have. I mean, I was kind of surprised at it. And yeah, House of Pisces, turtle power. They're really a lot of fun to keep. I'm actually working on feeding them live foods. They love small tadpoles. So I was doing some research on what's the most natural, healthiest food you can do to help encourage their shell growth. And tadpoles, bladder snails, and of course the pellets that they came with, because that one company said they're really healthy for them. I think we got Father Fish. He's back.
My internet went out.
Oh no.
Yeah.
Oh. Hold on, straight out of Cornwall. There is illegal to have a turtle where you're at? I'm so sorry, man. I will send you turtle videos where you can still feel like you got a turtle. Never thought of it being illegal somewhere to have a little turtle.
Yeah, that's not protecting turtles.
Right?
You know, it's not.
They're just killing their species out.
Yeah, it's treating people as though they are incompetent slugs that are hell bent on destroying everything. It is. It is obscene.
Insanity.
It is
Yeah,
obscene.
it is obscene.
It is an obscenity. It is what tyrants do.
Mm-hmm.
Stephen Clark, that's an interesting question. I think um, I don't think so. It's not my experience. My experience is that people have been able to keep single species of fish alive in a tank for years in conditions of utter isolation. There's no question but that the behavior is different. But I know of too many fish and too many fish keepers who've been able to keep, they'll get a bunch of fish and they'll die off down to one. And then they'll keep that one for years, sometimes 8, 10, 12, 15 years. I've had, that betta over there, I've had that betta for 5 years. Poor little betta. It's ostensibly healthy. Happy it ain't. But I think what it demonstrates is that fish don't function in the way that mammals function. They function more in the way that insects. They're more like insects or even perhaps birds.
Mm-hmm.
They're probably more closely related to birds than they are to mammals. They just have a completely different sense of behavior, of process, of how they function. Well, for example, I've got a video, just short, we just posted, of a comment we made last week about the first thing a fish does when it's put in a new environment. The very first thing it does is hide. That's not the first thing a mammal does when it's put in a new environment. It just isn't. The first thing a mammal does is investigate its environment. The first thing a fish does is hide. And then it will slowly begin to investigate its environment. A fish that is a little fish in a big tank. Let's use that illustration. A little fish in a big tank. You put the fish in the big tank. And let's say the tank has a little bit of rock work, maybe a piece of driftwood, a plant or two. Not a lot, just a little bit going on. First thing it'll do is hide. And it'll hide from you because you're what's moving around. And it's going to hide from what's moving because what's moving is potentially a predator. So it's going to hide from you. It'll peek behind a rock to see if you're moving around, where you are.
Mm-hmm.
And then very slowly and very gradually, it will become brave. It'll actually become less fearful of its immediate surroundings. It'll develop comfort level in its immediate surroundings. Any movement and it'll dart back. But eventually it'll be out moving around. And nothing will be attacking it. So it'll be comfortable doing that. And then its behavior will change. It'll begin moving from one side of its environment to the other. In other words, it'll be testing its range. Now, most fish live in a given range. They live in a radius. For little fish, it's typically 2 feet in any direction. It's about 4 foot. Some people say it's 3 foot. I think it's kind of depends on the fish, but it's a limited territory, and it's kind of a round territory. Most fish tanks are not big enough to be able to contain the entire territory of the fish, so the fish will begin going from one end of the tank to the other. If there's nothing else in the tank, it'll do that increasingly. What is it doing? It is looking for a way out. It's realizing its traps, and it's looking for an escape, looking for an opening somewhere. It doesn't find an opening, and it becomes increasingly panicked. Here's what's important to understand about this. I'm reminded of 2 comments, one by a betta keeper, the other by a young man who just bought an arowana, little 6-inch arowana. He had it in about a 125-gallon tank. Nothing in the tank. Water and this one little fish in a monster tank. The betta was in a big tank, a betta keeper who believes bettas need to be kept in a 10-gallon tank. So it was in a 10-gallon tank. The betta going side to side like this, just all over the place. And the betta keeper say, look how happy he is. He's swimming all over. He's free. The truth was precisely the opposite. The fish was behaving as a trapped animal, not comfortable in its surroundings, fearful about where it is, not able to establish any kind of grounding or safety or comfort, and just looking for a way out, darting here and there, darting all over, trying to get out. Oh, isn't he happy? No, he's not happy. He's just the opposite. The arowana, same thing. 6-inch arowana in a tank that's 5 feet long. Huge big tank, little tiny fish, nothing in the water, nothing on the bottom, bare bones tank. The fish is going vroom, 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 constantly one end to the other. That's not normal behavior for an arowana. An arowana is a lurker. It moves, but it's not darting. This fish was darting. It was trying to get out of the cage it was trapped in, trying to get to a place where it could establish some territory, where it could have some marking, some posts, some sense of direction, some sense of where it was. So, a fish that is in that environment permanently will eventually stop darting and just basically sit there. It will eat when food is available. It will defecate. It will do little else.
Mm-hmm.
And it will be able to maintain itself in that state of stupor virtually indefinitely. Fish don't age. They don't have an aging gene. They don't get old the way mammals get old. They don't their bodies don't deteriorate and break down from age. That's because they don't overeat. They undereat. So their bodies are always at a maximum state of health. They're an innately healthy animal. They can stay that way, exerting an absolute minimum of energy, burning off very few carbohydrates, and stay in that state of almost suspended animation indefinitely for literally, unless something else changes in the environment that creates stress on them, they can stay in that condition permanently, literally permanently. Theoretically, a fish does not die of old age. It dies of parasites, predation, pollution. Those are the three big ones. Starvation. That's rare but happens. Parasites, disease is the other. So the five: parasites, pollution. I've lost track. Privation, not privation. You got the point. I've lost
Yeah.
track. Lost track of the 5 points. Maybe somebody can recapitulate for me. I must be getting tired. 7:30. We got half an hour. I got to do this morning. Anyway, so I think what happens, Stephen, is that the fish goes into a state of stupor, a state of kind of suspended animation in which it doesn't move around much. And if the caretaker is careful about overfeeding, and that's the only thing that really is a problem, is overfeeding, they may change the water routinely in order to compensate for that. So long as the condition of the water is not dramatically stressful, it can stay in that condition indefinitely and will until something happens to kill it or to stress it or whatever. So, no, I don't think a fish will die for lack of companionship. I think rather it will become stupefied. It will become virtually immobile. It will simply stop functioning in terms of social behavior. But by saying that, what I'm saying is that I do not believe fish have an emotional life the way mammals have an emotional life. I don't believe birds have an emotional life either. Although there are those who would certainly disagree with me, given their experience with the parrots. And the parrots may be a separate class. They may, for all the world, be a separate class because they're uniquely talented animals, as are some other similar animals like crows. But you got to admit, a fish doesn't exhibit emotion the way a mammal exhibits emotion. So I think it's kind of like that. They don't get brokenhearted. They don't get lonely. They don't get sad quite. I think they can be stressed. They can be uncomfortable. They can be the opposite. They can be very comfortable. They can be what we might call happy. But I don't think I don't think we ought to treat fish as though they're people.
Yeah.
I think that does a disservice to the fish and causes us to do things that are not in the best interest of the fish because they're not people. They're not even a mammal. They're not like
Yeah.
a dog or a cat. They're just not. They're a unique animal, and they're in the most real sense a wild animal.
Yeah, they are.
They're an animal that lives in an environment that is not an environment that we're capable of living in.
Hmm.
So we don't even have a sense of what it's like to be a fish. I mean, we really don't. Don't assume they have a sense of what it's like to be a person, because they most certainly don't. That's what makes it so unique. That's what makes it so special keeping fish, because you're dealing with animals that are so radically different from yourself that you almost don't have any way of relating to them. It's I think it's part of the mystery and the magic of being able to maintain something like this.
Yeah, it is.
And to have it go on and on and on and on. I mean, I got fish in here, been in here 5 years. 5 years. These little golden top minnows, Fundulus priotus. I caught out of a pond in Florida 5 years ago. I'm going to get some more. I've only got 2 males left. Need to get some females. And they don't know about me. They know stuff moving up. You know, look at that. They're not even afraid of me anymore. A few are. There are some that are afraid, but I'm not scaring them. Isn't that incredible? I've been around them enough. They're not really afraid of me. I'm not entering into their territory. I'm right up to the edge of it. They know where the edge is, and I'm outside of it. And I'm not in their territory. Strange. Well, all right. I've lost. Let me see if I get back. There it is. Right. Back to you two. My betters follow me around wherever I go. They are. Well, they're keeping an eye on you. They're tracking you because you're a big potential predator.
Right?
Or maybe you're the source of their food. They may get that linkage too. I think they do. I think a lot of fish will get that link. You know, every time you show up, there's food in the tank. So that'd be a pretty easy one to pattern, wouldn't it?
Mm-hmm.
You're also probably the only thing that's interesting that's happening in their lives.
And that's true too.
There's nothing else in that tank. It's you or nothing, baby. It's you moving around, or they ain't got nothing to deal with. Want to learn how to breathe underwater. Oh my. Jeremy just looked in the aquarium. My pair of rams have laid about 100 eggs. Wonderful.
Wow.
Now they're going to protect them and take care of them. If you have other fish in there, you might want to take the eggs out and hatch them separately. You can do that. Just put them in a container with the same water, put an air stone in to bubble it a little bit and let it go. They will hatch in 24 to 48 hours. 3 days later, they will start swimming. That's the point where you need to put food in the tank. In the meantime, you can get some microworm culture or paramecium culture going that you'll be able that will be a perfect food for them for the first couple of weeks of their lives. If you can do that, the minute they start swimming, they gotta have food right away. At that point, you put a sponge filter in with them. You start putting food in, a little bit at a time. You don't want to foul the water. Anything that falls to the bottom and begins to deteriorate, siphon it out with a little airline. Just get that out of there. You can be adding a little bit of water to replace what you've siphoned out. The sponge filter, if you got an aged one from the tank they were born in, that'd be perfect. And you'll be amazed. They'll grow quickly.
Mm-hmm.
She's laying them now. If you have nothing else in the tank, leave them in there. They will hatch them, and they will care for the babies up to the point where the baby starts swimming. Within hours of them starting to swim, you either need to get the parents out or the babies out, because they'll eat them. They'll chase them off. There's no way for them to go, so they eat them, and they'll lay another batch of eggs in a week. It's a process. They need to get them out of the nest so they can do it again. It's a constant process of spawning that they're involved in. So once they start swimming, siphon the babies out with like a half-inch hose. Siphon them out into another container and put a sponge filter in there and start feeding them. ZXNR 9-1. Wendy has a few female half-bakes that love her. I dare say, to the extent that a fish can feel love, you certainly love them. Let's say it that way, that you have love for them. Whether or not they are able to return anything that approximates human love is a highly questionable assertion. Highly. You may define it in a certain way and describe love as a way of interpreting that behavior. I think that's wholly appropriate to do that. You know, you're defining the behavior in a specific way. You're giving it an emotional quality that is coherent with your own emotional quality. That creates a bond, at least for you. The fish has its own way of bonding. So you do have a relationship. It's a relationship between two very, very unique animal kingdoms that have little or nothing to do with each other. It is remarkable, utterly remarkable. Cherish the magic, cherish the mystery. Don't assume that they're a puppy dog, because they're not. And if you treat them like a puppy dog, you'll kill them.
Yeah.
So don't do that. Let's see. Dean Stevenson talking about that he's eating fresh like called his finger. There's so many delightful things we can do with their fish, aren't there? So many. I don't enjoy interfacing with them. I enjoy observing them.
Yeah, same here.
I'm really not. And I'm not disparaging that at all. I think people who do that have a special kind of joy. You know, I celebrate that. I just don't do it. I don't have an interest in that. There are others that do it. God bless them. You know, you got something I ain't got. You have a level of relationship and joy and celebration with that animal that I don't have. And, you know, I have nothing bad to say about that at all. Ooh. Aquarium release stress and sadness. Absolutely. Absolutely. And why is that? How is that? How does that happen? Why does that happen? I think in a real way, it's because it takes you outside yourself and puts you in a place that is totally unfamiliar, in which your concerns and your interests have no bearing at all. Your relationship with your wife, when you're sitting looking at those fish, doesn't affect them one little bit, unless she's throwing soap in it. I mean, all things being equal, that they're indifferent to your emotional life. And so it can get you outside yourself.
Yeah.
And it's a world. It's a world. It's something you can experience and not share exactly, but observe and observe in enormous detail and get lost in observing to the point where you're seeing things that have no bearing at all on your life. None at all.
Yeah, it's an amazing phenomenon, isn't it?
Takes it completely outside yourself. Son calls it my need to connect with animals. I think that's absolutely right, Wendy. Absolutely right. I think we do have an absolute need to connect with the other creatures of the animal kingdom and the plant kingdom, with life on this earth. People who don't have that are lost souls. Lost souls. They have no sense of the natural world. That's a grave disability. It's a grave loss.
Yeah, it is.
Do your fish dream of becoming YouTubers?
That was cute.
I dream of becoming a YouTuber.
Right?
Never thought I'd be a YouTuber. Never even, in fact, I can remember years when I worked very hard not to.
Really?
From 2013 to 2018, the 5-year period, a guy who was doing my computers came to me in 2013, said, you got to do this. You got to do this. You got to get videos on YouTube. And he came in faithfully for months, and he would make videos, and I would stand there talking about stuff. And he'd make the video, he'd put it up. I don't think I ever watched him. Never watched one of them. He finally lost interest in doing it. I was never interested. And then somehow, 5 years later, I don't know what it was. Probably money. Probably. I probably heard that people were making money at it. And I needed to make money at something. Because I had a shop that was draining me to the bone. It was impoverishing me. And I was looking for a way to be able to get some income. So I got into it and just started running with it. I'll tell you what's happened though, it's interesting. I'm making less money every month on YouTube than I did the month before. That's been going on for about 6 months. At the height of which 6 months ago, I was making less money than I made a year ago. The money is gone. It went up like this, and then almost a year and a half ago, it's just been on a steady decline. As subscriptions have gone up, views have gone up, everything goes on, the money's doing this. Just right straight down. Now, that's Google. That's Google. That's what Google does. Google pays 1/1000th of 1% of the money they make on my efforts to me. I make one out of every 10,000, 1 penny out of every $10,000 that they make on my efforts. That's what I get back. It's a negligible amount, and it's increasingly negligible. However, as a result of being able to interface with all of you and with the Father Fish Kingdom, I have a business that is supporting 9 people. Some not so much as others, but supporting all to the extent that they would miss it if it were not there. It would change their lifestyles back to something less desirable if that money were not there. And they're making phenomenal contributions, far in excess of what they're being paid, far in excess, every one of them. So I want to be able to keep that going. And if I pass, I got to live another couple of years until I get this thing locked down. Okay, at least that, so I can get it locked down so it can continue and be able to support people long term. But as a result of all of this, the store is able to sell plants, and those plants are what's making it work. Those plant sales are the foundation, the financial foundation to everything that's happening. The money from YouTube, the only thing it pays for is it pays for the editing, the video editing. That's what it pays for. It pays for itself, in other words, at least to that extent. Doesn't pay for anything else. And which is why I really want to be able to get on another platform that will provide some additional income, or do another channel and be able to double up a little bit, because I think it would double up. So I'm looking for ways to expand that to try to make things work. Certainly could use ideas, suggestions, assistance, whatever. While I'm on the subject, we have a special going on right now. And those of you who are here right now, all 87 of you, 20 of you have the opportunity to get the deal of a lifetime right now, tonight. It's going to be gone tomorrow. Let's see how many are left, so I know what I'm talking about. Let me look at this real quick and just see what we got left. Products. Let's see. Here it is. We have a special overstock offer. You get 2 packages of stem plants for the price of 1. That's 32 bundles of plants for $49.95. We have 17 of these deals left, and then they'll be gone. 17 of them left. Jump on it right now. I guarantee you it's going to be gone by morning. If you order that right now, and let me give you a little hint, you can save $10 by spending $5. If you spend $5 more, it'll get you over the $50 limit, and you'll get free shipping. So
Actually, I'm going to grab the link.
Yeah, grab the link and post the link. Click on it, go there, buy it right now. Do it right now. There are only 17 packs left. We started with 22. We've sold 5. When they're gone, they're gone. Get it right now. This is a one-time sale. It is a a closed sale. In other words, we're not going to make this deal available beyond this. Once that pack is out and it's in your hands, we're done. If they come in dead, we're done. We're not going to make it good. We're not going to guarantee it. It's a one-time deal. We will do the best we can to get it out, to get it to you, so it'll be in good condition. So there's a bit of a crapshoot involved. Our experience is 1 out of 100 orders fails. There are only 17 left, a total of 22. There's no reason to believe even one will fail. None whatsoever. Statistically, you're golden. They will be fine. If you want to guarantee it, put $25 in, we'll ship it overnight. You'll get it in 1 to 2 days.
Mm-hmm.
Not a bad
I've already
deal.
ordered mine.
Yeah, for $25, you get an extra $50.
Right?
That ain't a bad deal.
No, it's not.
25, get an extra 25 back. You know, hard to beat that kind of deal. But
That is true.
real quick, this is only for you. It's only for you. It's only for the people who are here right now. Jump on this right now. Make it work for you. This is my gift to you. Jump on it. Make it work. Get the package of a lifetime. You're going to love it. It'll fill a 20-gallon tank. It'll fill a 40-gallon tank. It'll certainly fill a 29. Think of it. 32 bundles of plants. 4 to 5 plants in each bundle. That's 125 minimum plants, individual plants, for $49.95. Spend an extra $5 and get $10 free shipping. Spend $25, you'll get it the next day. And that'll guarantee that it'll be in perfect condition. Otherwise, it'll be 2 to 3 days. Should be fine, should not be a problem at all. 99 out of 100 orders that we ship out, there's no problem with it at all. So you're in good shape. Jump on it. Jump on it. Spencer's sister ordered mine for 1 pack, and a pack of mystery snails. Good choice. Should have done a contest, Kim said. All righty. No, do not ship the regular pack. It is listed as a special item, special sale. It's not the regular pack. The regular pack is still up there. You're not going to get it if you order the regular pack. It is AAA stem plant special overstock offer. Special overstock offer. 2 packages for the price of 1. That's what you're looking for. Special overstock offer.
Yeah, and if you click the link that I'm posting, it'll take you directly to the listing.
There you go.
The card says 1, but we're throwing in 2.
Huh?
Yeah, the card.
Oh, the card.
the
Yeah,
big
don't
card.
forget the card. Yeah, the card is the generic card. It's the special overstock offer. 2 packages of the price of 1. And there's a limited number of those. So once they're gone, they're gone.
Mm-hmm.
Let's see. It's going down. Going down. How much is it going down?
Yeah, I ordered one of the packs, and I ordered some more of Brenda's natural products. I wanted some more of the pain reliever stick and chapstick. That stuff's awesome.
Really?
Yeah.
Let's see. Who was Corval? If I spend $1,000, can you send Dana over to Company Lozano? No, because that won't cover the bill. but we can ship lasagna to you for $1,000. You might even get it.
That'd be some really cold lasagna by the time it got there.
Hey, you have to heat it up.
We'll just ship you a pizza, Cornwall.
Now I'll tell you what. I have a friend in Scotland who will make her recipe. How's that? And deliver it to you for $1,000. I'll do it. I'll make it happen.
That was good.
We can even have her on a live cooking cast where she can be teaching, monitoring the chef to make sure it's done exactly right.
And that'll work.
Funny stuff. Funny stuff. Who's calling me? Somebody's calling me. Wireless caller from New Jersey. Father Fish. Hello. Hello. We do. This is Father Fish. You are live on Father Fish.
How are you today?
I'm good, Bob. How are you?
Getting along fine. And the big question I have for you is when we began to look at you and I earlier today, is a 10-gallon techno tank that we really need to bring over to a stand tank or substrate.
Okay.
And my question was, how do we ensure that the bait fish in that 10-gallon tank can go into a subscription conversion on the same day?
All you're gonna do is are you gonna leave the water in the tank?
I think that's what we were discussing.
Yeah, you can do that and just put sand in. Just put sand on top of the existing substrate. That is the simplest way to do it. You can leave the fish in there, leave the plants in there, just add an inch of sand.
So people will be happy with that?
Yeah, you bet. Should work out fine. What do you have for substrate right now? What's in there now?
Well, what we've got at the bottom is gravel.
Gravel. Okay. How long has that gravel been in there?
I'd say about 6 months.
6 months? Okay. So there is a fair amount of dirt already down in that gravel. By putting sand on top of it, you'll be creating a dirt layer.
How do I follow through with the rest of your method?
You don't. Yeah, well, you build a food web. You start putting decaying leaves in there to bring in all of that microbiology, and that builds it up. That builds up the food web.
Now, because it's such a small tank, and I'm not ordering this substrate, what about a plant package?
Absolutely. Yep.
Which one would we order?
The stem plants. That'd be the best one. And we got a deal on them right now. You get 2 for the price of 1. It's going to be gone by the end of today, probably. If you'll look when you go in, what is it called?
Stem plant remnants. I'm sending you the link.
Right. Yep. It's special overstock offer. Stem plant special overstock offer. Yep.
Okay, I got the plan again, and I have to ask you, as the plant so you will grow to the top of the tank, I know you recommended don't clip them, you're just going to encourage growth.
Well, you can clip them. You know, one of the things about stem plants is if you clip them, they will bush out. So some of them you really do need to clip in order to get them to create contours. Otherwise, they just turn into long, stemmy, you know, whatever. They don't. They're a lot prettier if you do trim them.
That's what we got, the 20-gallon tank.
Right.
Everything.
Yep. So there's some that do better trim than others.
Now, am I thinking to put both types of plants
Into 10. Well,
into the 10-gallon?
what you're going to be able to do is put twice as many of the ones you like in there, and then the others can go in the other thing.
Okay.
All right.
Another plan. I'm hoping Parks is always thank you.
You're very welcome. All right.
Success.
You bet.
Take good care.
Bless you. Bye for now.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Bye-bye. Good night.
Okay.
Yeah, everybody. We could hear most of it. Every now and then it would cut out.
Yeah.
Everybody in the comments was saying you got to do a call-in show now.
Yeah. Really. Yeah, I could. I really could.
You really could.
Yeah. I have to figure out a way to do the phone on my computer so I could get the voice online. I don't know how to do that, but that would.
Yeah, I'm not sure how that would work either. The only thing I could think of is take one of these microphones like this and maybe stick it up to it, but I don't know if that's going to cause feedback or what that's going to do.
I don't know. Well, I know we can use the computer as a phone. I've never
cool.
done it, but I know
Yeah, I've never done that either.
So we'll think about that one. In the meantime, we finally have hit the witching hour. And
I'm sorry, I'm laughing.
We're gonna go away now.
Bye, guys.
Love you all.
Love you guys.
My music is gone. Everything's gone. It's
Oh no!
Wipeout here. Total wipeout. Okay. Is yours up?
Let's see.
I think it is, isn't it?
Yeah, that's what I'm looking for, to see if it is. Yes, mine's up. That'll work.
Love you all.
Love you guys.
Bye for now. See you Wednesday night.
We're building a food web, a tiny world to see. Leaf litter from nature, providing a home for microflora and microfauna. No longer alone, we collect the leaves, the water and the creatures in ponds, rivers and streams. Our ecosystem features, creating a balance in this underwater land. With every piece connected, our food web will expand. Building a food web in our aquarium today, feeding our ecosystem in the most natural way.